Hey friends, welcome back to another Wellness Wednesday. I'm out here on the porch, just enjoying my coffee, and we're gonna chat a little bit about how things have been since I got my iron infusion 8 days ago. So I'll start off with just how I felt directly after the infusion and kind of talk about how things have changed in the past 8 days. So directly after my infusion, they said, if you're feeling fine, you can go ahead and go. And I was feeling fine, but I decided to just stick around the clinic area for a little while just in case. And about 30 to 45 minutes after I left, I had what I found out later is called a fishbane reaction, which is a common reaction to IV iron and not life-threatening, so that was good. But basically my face flushed like completely, like all the way from my forehead all around, like over my nose, like completely flushed face and like prickly pins and needle feeling. So that was a little bit concerning, but it went away really fast. So I didn't go back to the clinic or anything. I just kind of waited it out. Just, you know, I was on high alert, like paying attention. And through the Googling, I found out that it was probably the fishbane reaction that's not life-threatening. And it did resolve so quick that I was all right. I did have Benadryl with me like the whole rest of the day, just in case I needed to take that really fast, because anaphylactic shock is a side effect or a possible side effect of iron infusion. So, but I didn't end up having to take that. I hate taking Benadryl, so I was really glad about that, but I would have if I had needed to. Then besides that, I just felt completely wiped out the rest of the day. I came home and I took a nap and just felt completely out of it. The next morning, I woke up with a headache, and actually the next 2 mornings, I woke up with a headache. And not like a migraine or anything, just enough of a headache to be really annoying. And that's a very common symptom I hear as well. So I was expecting that, not concerned. I also had trouble sleeping, I think the first 3 nights after the infusion. And I was worried that that was gonna be like my new normal because I felt like my exhaustion, I was pushing my exhaustion to bedtime by using caffeine to get me through the day. And then by the time bedtime came around, I was completely exhausted. And so I actually slept really well. But I was worried that like once I have normal iron levels, if I don't have that exhaustion to push to bedtime, that my sleep was going to be wonky again. So I was a little worried about that, but it seems to have only lasted those 3 nights. And then it's normalized since then. I've been sleeping great the last several nights. So hopefully that is how it's going to be from now on. But I did have those 3 nights of rough sleep, and I'm expecting that it was probably just because of the stress of the iron infusion. Iron infusion is a very stressful thing to your body. It's not natural. And so I think my body was just stressed from that, but I'm hopeful that it is regulated now. So basically that is all of the negative that I experienced from the whole thing. As far as the positive, I started noticing positive effects like the evening of day 2. And since then, everything has just been getting better and better. I'm so happy with the progress that I've seen so far. And I'm like so optimistic for the future now. The first improvement that I really noticed was that mental exhaustion that I described to you guys a few videos or a few Wellness Wednesdays ago, where it just felt like even the most normal, mundane stuff that I just needed to do, there was like this hurdle in front of everything that mentally I had to get over. And it was like something holding me back from being able to just do anything. It's a super frustrating feeling because it's like going to fold the laundry or, you know, doing whatever to make dinner. Like it felt like in front of everything that I had to do, there was just this hurdle that I had to get over. And I did not have the motivation. It was like I was just lacking motivation to do anything. But then I'm a very like driven person and I really like being productive. So I would just feel like I couldn't get anything done, but at the same time, like be really frustrated that I wasn't getting anything done. And I feel like that was the first thing that really changed. I feel like my motivation is back. It started just within that first couple of days of having the infusion, and then every day it seemed to get better. And it's really funny because I just finished up my Vlogmas in July, where I was vlogging every day in July. And right when I was finishing up with that challenge is when like I started getting all of this motivation and like ideas for videos and feeling like I had so much that I wanted to say. And it's interesting because originally I decided to commit to the Vlogmas in July because I wanted it to motivate me to do more videos. I felt like I was struggling with motivation. And so in an attempt to force myself to motivate myself, I decided to do the Vlogmas in July challenge. And it just turned out that it was right after that that I found out that I was iron deficient and went through all of that process. And now after that whole challenge is done, now I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, I have so much motivation to do even more. I've also seen improvements in my brain fog, and this has been mainly in just the last couple of days where I'm not forgetting what I went down to the pantry to get. I feel like my words are flowing more easily. Just a clarity of my brain that I haven't experienced in a long time. It makes me think of those like allergy medicine commercials where like they have a filter on the screen that's all like everything's blurry and not colorful, and then all of a sudden they take their allergy medication and it's like peeled away and like the colors are vibrant and they can see and everyone's smiling. That's kind of how I feel, actually. It just feels like my brain is working without so much struggle. I've also seen improvement with, like I was describing to you guys before, like lightheadedness in the morning and like a really empty feeling in my muscles in the morning. And before, like I would equate that to hunger, and because, you know, eating would usually help it. But that has really, really diminished. So my intermittent fasting in the morning has been even easier than it was. Like it got way easier when I started taking athletic greens and getting my nutrients in. But now it's like at another level where I think it's like noon and all I've had is my athletic greens and I'm sipping on my coffee with cream right now. And I don't even feel hungry. I don't have that lightheaded feeling at all. I don't have that emptiness feeling. And usually I would have to eat to get that relieved 100%. And I expect that's because I was eating foods that contained iron. That's my guess. I don't know. But that is just completely gone. Super happy about that. Next thing that I've seen big improvement in also is my fast heart rate. I did not realize how abnormal that was. Like it just felt normal to me. And especially when going to sleep, I would have a really high heart rate just laying in bed. And I have had sleeping issues before, and the way that they manifest to me, and I still have them occasionally, like I did the first 3 days after the infusion, the way they manifest is that usually I can fall asleep pretty easily, but it's like I'm drifting off to sleep. It's kind of like I imagine lights being turned down lower and lower and lower, and then all of a sudden it's like someone turns on the lights in my brain, and it's like immediately I'm awake. And when my sleeping issues in the past have been really bad, it's like that cycle goes like 50 times, feels like 50 times, maybe like 10 or 20 times. It's extremely frustrating because it's like you're falling asleep, like you're actually falling asleep, and then it's like the lights just turn on and your brain is awake again. And the way I experience it now is usually that happens once per night. That has been how it's happened in the last, I don't know, year or so, where I will be drifting off to sleep and I'll wake up and I'll feel like I have to go to the bathroom again. So I get up, I go to the bathroom, and then I fall asleep and I'm able to stay asleep. That's been pretty normal for me. But when I have that moment when I wake up, it's not like I'm having a scary dream or something that's making my heart rate high. It's just my heart rate is super high. I don't know if the high heart rate is what is waking me up or what, but that has pretty much gone away since the infusion. So that's really exciting. Like when I lay down and I'm going to sleep, I feel my heart feels calm. My brain has always felt calm. I've always felt tired. It's not like I'm having anxiety in my brain. It's just the heart rate my heart is having anxiety. So I feel like that has really, really resolved and gotten so much better since the infusion. And it seems like it's been progressively better. And like last night I was thinking about it as I was falling asleep and just like, I can't believe how much I thought that was normal. Just because I guess it gradually started happening and I didn't realize it. I think connected to the high heart rate thing, I also have been not having as much shortness of breath. And obviously those things are going to be connected. So that's been positive as well. I feel like I can climb stairs easily without, you know, having to, I never had to like wheeze or breathe super heavy, but it's just easier now. It's definitely too early to see improvements in like my hair growth and my nails and stuff like that. That's going to take a while. I have noticed the last couple mornings, I feel like I've had more hair shedding than normal. So that's always discouraging, but hair is so crazy and can be affected by so many things. It's just hard to know, and I will have to wait and see about my hair and what it does, you know, in the next few months. I don't know if this is all in my head or not, but I felt like yesterday I went past a mirror and I caught myself in the mirror and I felt like I had more color in my face. It's hard to judge sometimes on yourself, but I just kind of got that impression, and so I figured I'd mention it. The last thing that I wanted to mention is that I have not had any weight gain thus far from the iron infusion. Apparently that's a very common thing with iron therapies is weight gain. And I have been extremely steady in my weight since the infusion. Just wanted to throw that in there. So that is how my week after the infusion has been. I'm sure you guys can tell that I'm very happy so far with the progress, just feeling like a whole new person. And the game plan from here on out is, I think in either 4 or 5 weeks, I have another appointment scheduled with my doctor. I'm going to get some lab work done right before that so that we can go over that. I'm going to check my ferritin and my iron and my HSCRP again, and also check my ANA again to see where I'm at with all that stuff. And that's when we will talk about the possibility of a lupus diagnosis, if my ANA goes up, or if it's the same and I still feel like I'm having some symptoms, we're gonna go more down the road of a lupus diagnosis. We're also going to be talking about what to do as far as my gut health, because there's gotta be some reason that my body is not absorbing the iron that I'm eating, because I'm definitely eating a very high iron containing diet. And so I have some ideas of things that I would like to test for, maybe SIBO, maybe parasites. Those both can inhibit iron absorption. I'm sure my doctor will have other ideas of things. If you guys have any idea of things that, as far as gut health goes, that I could be tested for, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear that. But as of right now, I am just riding high on how good I am feeling, and I'm just gonna enjoy that, and we will cross the bridge of the other things later on. Tomorrow has enough trouble of its own. So I'm going to leave it here for Wellness Wednesday today. I hope you guys are doing great, and I will see you again in the next one.